This bicycle rack can be mounted to any motorcycle and can be adjusted to fit any bicycle, all while not damaging either of your bikes or completely ruining your motorcycle's handling. However, there could be a reason you've never seen this done before. Your eyes are not deceiving you. This really is a bicycle rack on a motorcycle. And the first time you see this, your immediate reaction is either, "That's so cool," or "That looks like a terrible idea." But either way, you can't look at this without having a few questions about it. So today, I'm going to answer all the questions you could possibly have about this setup before you even ask them. Because trust me, 2x2 cycles have put a lot more thought into this than you might first expect. I first saw something like this about a year ago and assumed it was custom made. So I figured I'd have to learn to weld so I could make one for myself. But luckily I then stumbled across 2x2 Cycles, an American company run by a father and son duo who are motorcycle and bicycle fanatics. They make exactly what I had seen online, which sounded far easier than making one of my own. So I then emailed 2x2 Cycles to see if they would be interested in collaborating with me on this video. Unfortunately, they were as excited as I was. So, full disclosure, they did send me this for free so that I could make a video about it and review it, share it with you guys. But had they ignored my email completely, I probably would have just bought one because, well, look at it. But naturally, I assume your first question would be a very reasonable question if you're not someone addicted to both motorcycles and bicycles. I, however, have a bicycle tattoo and a motorcycle YouTube channel. So I think I can explain this. Look at it this way. Bikers love to go on long rides to travel their country and find nice roads. And cyclists love to travel to new places to find new trails, nice climbs, and escape traffic. So this way you can kill two birds with one stone. You can enjoy a motorcycle ride to somewhere that you can enjoy a bicycle ride. The bike rack itself took about 30 minutes and was really easy. It's the GV luggage rack that was painful. You get some hardware, a strap and some instructions, the crank and front wheel holder, the base plate with fork tower, and then since an MT-09 has nowhere to mount the bike rack, I needed a luggage rack as well. The GV instructions overcomplicated a simple task, but once it was hanging off the back of my bike, it took just 4 bolts to attach the bike rack. The crank and front wheel holder can then be slid into the back of the rack, and you're finished until you want to put a bike on it. I seem to manage just fine without one, but it can only help. The process goes like this. Simply remove your front wheel and lean it somewhere for the time being. Lift the bike onto the rack and place your left crank arm into the cradle. Then place your forks onto the fork tower and slide your axle through to secure it in place. Now you can lock your pedal down in the crank holder and use the provided skewer to attach your front wheel into the slot made for it. Then a strap goes around your stem and attaches to your rear foot pegs to transfer your bicycle's weight onto the forks. The first time you load a bike, it does take a while as you figure everything out, but once you get the hang of it, it's relatively easy. And when it's time to unload, simply reverse the process, which is slightly faster. To be honest, it's not the most suitable setup to meet your friends at your local trails on the weekend, because you would need somewhere to lock up your motorcycle helmet while you're cycling, and you would have to come back and put motorcycle gear on when you're all hot and sweaty, and that wouldn't be very pleasant. But for something like motorcycle touring, when hopefully you would have more amenities at your disposal, it's pretty awesome. A tandem, probably not, unless maybe you have a Goldwing, and it probably wouldn't fit your unicycle either, but other than that, it will fit your bike. The fork tower and crank holder slide in and out of the base, so you can adjust it to suit any size bike. Just don't forget to tighten down the bolts once you set it for your bike. They also offer adapters for different sized axles, and this plug can be installed and removed to accommodate through axles or skewers. And finally, there's also an adapter if you use platform pedals rather than clipless pedals. Overall, it's as versatile as any regular bike rack, and loading my road bike was even easier as it doesn't weigh anything. At times, yes, you can see from the side that the weight hangs very far off the rear of the bike, moving the center of gravity back. However, they have tried to limit this as much as possible with the strap that goes around your stem. This transfers the weight of the bicycle from far out back to over the fork cradle, moving it closer to you, the rider. The first few corners are very strange, but you adapt your riding style very quickly. You can definitely feel the weight, but altogether it is still less than the weight of a pillion. It also occasionally acts as a bit of a sail in crosswinds, but the worst offender is this GV luggage rack once again, because that is what flexes, allowing the bicycle to wiggle. With a stiffer setup, it would be far less noticeable. However, don't forget that this isn't intended for racing, but more for an enjoyable cruise, and most importantly, it doesn't take the fun out of riding a bike. Because of the adjustable fork tower, you probably could. Mine needs to be a little passenger on my short bike, but an adventure bike would definitely be more accommodating. You have a few options if you just want a quick spin without it. Most easily, you can just loosen the two bolts and remove the fork tower and crank cradle, leaving you with just the base to ride around with. Or the more wholesome solution is to remove the whole luggage rack with the bike rack still attached. You can get rid of it all with just 4 bolts, and neither solution is very difficult or time-consuming. Unless you scratch it while loading, no. The forks are locked in and can't move. The crank cradle has rubber in it so it can't scratch your crank, and the pedal lock is plastic for the same reason. Just don't crash. So this is without a doubt a niche product. But as someone who's both a bicycle and motorcycle fanatic, I think it's absolutely awesome. It's way better than I could ever have made myself. It's definitely lighter and it's really well thought out. I have a feeling it's going to be mounted to quite a few different motorcycles in the future, and I can't wait to go on a real trip with this without any need for a car. But anyway, let me know what you think about this contraption and whether you'd give it a try or not. I'll leave links to 2x2 cycles down in the description if you want to know more, and I'll see you on the next ride.